We're going to call for
Beckwith,
here.
Colwell,
Here.
Deal,
Here.
Parkapisi, absent, Kotsinis,
Here.
Nimi,
Here.
Sheldon.
Here.
We have a quorum.
You ready, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Warren Newport Public Library District provides the community with access to information, kindles the imagination of children and adults, and supports lifelong learning.
Just a brief reminder, down this hallway to the left is the vending area, then we have the washrooms and the exit area. In the case of an emergency, like the paramedics are called, please leave a pathway so they can operate. Thank you, have a good evening.
Thank you. Okay, first is the consent agenda. Anyone want to remove anything from it? Okay, can I have a motion then?
I move we accept the consent agenda items A through E.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Okay, so correspondence, abstract of the election, page 21. Do you have anything? Nothing else. Only vote on something. Anyone want to make a public comment? No? Okay, next is the resolution on the tax levy plan for 2017-18. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll move that the board adopt resolution number 2016-2017-5, resolution confirming tax levy plan for 2017-18 levy.
I'll
Second.
second. Go ahead, Bob seconded.
Any discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call on this.
Parkapisi,
Aye.
Nimi,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
Deal,
Aye.
Sheldon,
Aye.
Colwell, Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay, swearing in of trustees.
And why don't we start with you?
And
Nancy, could I suggest that you go down by the microphone at the, maybe at the head?
Sure.
Thank you.
Not such a deal. Would you
Yes.
like to just read it as opposed to repeating it after me?
Sure. I, Ann Linstow Hefner, having been elected to the office of trustee for the Warren Newport Public Library District in the state of Illinois, in the county of Lake, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of library trustee according to the best of my ability.
You'll need to sign that at some point this evening. Probably now is as good as any.
Thank you.
Hi, Bonnie? Just raise your right hand and then read that.
Oh, fine,
Yes.
thank you.
I, Bonnie Sutton, have been elected to the office of trustee for the Warren Newport Public Library District in the state of Illinois and the county of Lake, aforesaid. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of library trustee according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Come on, Kathy.
I'm Kathleen, now I'm a little older.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss
Miss
Kathleen.
Yes, that'll be good too.
Okay, raise your right hand.
I, Kathleen Ketman, having been elected to the office of trustee for the Warren Newport Public Library District in the state of Illinois in the county of Lake, aforesaid, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of library trustee according to the best of my ability. Thank you. Do we get to keep the pens like when?
And Joe? And Joe? Joe? Doesn't Joe need to be sworn in?
Actually, she does.
Okay, well, how about if I use one of those and
Yeah.
substitute my
Yeah.
name?
Thank you.
Okay.
I, Joe Beckwith, having been elected to the office of trustee for the Warren Newport Public Library District in the state of Illinois and the county of Lake, aforesaid, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of library trustee according to the best of my ability. Yeah. Okay. Who would like to make the next motion?
May I move that we adjourn this meeting sine die?
I second.
Let's have a roll call on that, I guess.
Sheldon,
Aye.
Caldwell, Nimitz, Katsinis,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Deal, Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
time to sit down. Come on.
Okay.
I've been waiting to sit at the cool kids table for a long time.
It's well worth it.
Oh, it's on here. It's on here. Oh, we're gonna talk about page three.
Is this your stuff?
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, it's Nancy.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone ready? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is elect a president pro temp, and, you may.
I move that I move to nominate George Kotsinas as president pro tem, since he did such an excellent job last time.
I'll second that. Okay, let's have a roll call first.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Katsinis,
Aye.
Sutton, Farkapisi,
Aye.
Ketman,
Aye.
Caldwell, Lindsay,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay. Your turn, George.
All right. Section 11B, election of secretary pro tem.
May I make another nomination? I nominate Bonnie Sutton as secretary pro tem. Mission eyes, which I think we did that.
Yeah, thanks so much.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call vote.
Lindsay,
Aye.
Sutton,
I have to vote for it? Yeah, okay, aye.
Go for yourself.
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Ketman,
Aye.
Caldwell, Beckwith,
Aye.
Katsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
call to order.
Beckwith,
Here.
Caldwell,
Here.
Farkapisi,
Here.
Ketman,
Here.
Skotsini,
Here.
Linsgau,
Here.
Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, nomination of a president. Go ahead.
I would like to nominate a slate. I would like to nominate Joe Beckwith for board president, Tom Caldwell for board vice president, Bonnie Sutton for board secretary, and myself for treasurer, unless anybody else would like to do it.
I'll second. Roll call vote.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Ketman,
Aye.
Skotsini,
Aye.
Linsgau,
Aye.
Sutton.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay. That one. Resolutions. Are they where? I don't have them.
The resolutions.
Oh, so stay with me. Bob. You ready, sir? A resolution of appreciation to Bob Deal for dedicated service to the Warren Newport Public Library District. Whereas Bob Deal faithfully served the Warren Newport Public Library District for 6 years as a library trustee. And whereas Bob Deal served as a member of the Building and Grounds Committee, attending nearly all committee meetings. And whereas Bob Deal showed interest in the library's building and property, bringing his own experiences to the excellent maintenance and improvement of the facility. And whereas Bob Deal brought concern and curiosity to the final phase of the 2010-2011 expansion and renovation project. And whereas Bob Deal held the safety of WNPL patrons and staff as one of the most important considerations in his decision-making as a trustee. And whereas Bob Deal shared his patriotism by frequently leading the Pledge of Allegiance at regular board meetings. And whereas Bob Deal's status as a veteran inspired the Friends of the Library to create an annual program that sends holiday cards to patients at the Captain James A. Lovell Federal Health Center in North Chicago, Illinois. And whereas Bob Deal has contributed to the success of the library through periods of growth, planning, and construction, including the creation of the Point to serve tweens and the remodeling of the staff room in 2016. And whereas Bob Deal has supported the WNPL family by attending staff appreciation events such as the Board Staff Appreciation Luncheon. And whereas Bob Deal will always be welcomed back as a friend of the Warren Newport Public Library. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Library Trustees of the Warren Newport Public Library District that Bob Deal is hereby commended for his dedication, loyalty, and commitment to the residents of this district and the citizenry of Warren and Newport Townships.
Joe, don't we get to vote on that?
Oh, yes, they do.
Do we? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I'd like to see 100% participation in my vote.
Okay. Who would like to make a motion?
I move to accept the resolution as written.
I'll second.
Okay. Let's have a roll call for that.
Josh Skotsini second, right?
Yes.
Ketman,
Yep. Aye.
Linsgau,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Skotsini,
Aye.
Caldwell,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
ayes have it.
Okay, hold that, hold that. There you go. Thank you.
I was going to go quick.
Sure, I'm under you here. Okay.
Thank you all.
A resolution of appreciation to Sue Nemi for dedicated service to the Warren Newport Public Library District. Whereas Sue Nemi faithfully served the Warren Newport Public Library District for 2 years as a library trustee. And whereas Sue Nemi faithfully served on prior WNPLD boards for a total of 14 years, serving as secretary for 2 years and president for 6 years. And whereas Sue Nemi applied to fill a vacancy on the board at a crucial moment in the board's history, fully realizing that serving WNPLD at this time would be especially challenging. And whereas Sue Nemi stepped up to her appointment with courage and determination to help improve the board's functioning. And whereas Sue Nemi lent her considerable leadership skills to the board by participating in the effort to improve the board's self-evaluation survey and then volunteering to lead the board through its annual self-evaluation process. And whereas Sue Nemi brought her knowledge and insight to help assess and improve the board's process for evaluating the executive director. And whereas Sue Nemi took a leading role in generating additional revenue by collaborating with Brian Nemi to plan Bikers for Books, an annual fundraising event that is fun and entertaining while also benefiting WNPLD and its patrons. And whereas Sue Nemi contributed to the success of the library through periods of growth, planning, and construction, including the creation of the Point to Serve Tweens and the remodeling of the staff room in 2016. And whereas Sue Nemi is first and foremost not a library trustee, but a librarian and a library patron who loves libraries in general and WNPL in particular. And whereas Sue Nemi will always be welcomed back as a friend of the Warren Newport Public Library. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Library Trustees of the Warren Newport Public Library District that Sue Nemi is hereby commended for her dedication, loyalty, and commitment to the residents of this district and the citizenry of Warren and Newport Townships.
I would like to make a motion. I move to pass the resolution as written and read.
Let's have a roll call.
Ketman,
Aye.
Katsini,
Aye.
Lindsay,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton, Caldwell, Beckwith.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, Nancy. What? A resolution of appreciation to Nancy Sheldon for dedicated service to the Warren Newport Public Library District. Whereas Nancy Sheldon faithfully served the Warren Newport Public Library District for 2 years as a library trustee. And whereas Nancy Sheldon faithfully served on prior WNPLD boards for 20 years, from 1991 to 2011, serving as vice president, secretary, treasurer, and chair of policy committee. And whereas Nancy Sheldon served as a citizen member of the policy committee in the interim between her most recent 2 terms as a trustee, advising the policy committee and mentoring its new chairperson so that the board's policy work could improve and advance. And whereas Nancy Sheldon ran for the office of library trustee in the April 2015 election at a crucial moment in the board's history, fully realizing that serving WNPLD at this time would be especially challenging. And whereas Nancy Sheldon stepped up to her trusteeship with courage and determination to help improve the board's functioning. And whereas Nancy Sheldon served as secretary of the WNPLD Board of Trustees, faithfully and diligently carrying out her duties. And whereas Nancy Sheldon has applied her superlative skills in writing and editing to the ongoing work of evaluating and improving board and personnel policies. And whereas Nancy Sheldon has contributed to the success of the library through periods of growth, planning, and construction, including the creation of the Point to Serve Tweens and the remodeling of the staff room in 2016. And whereas Nancy Sheldon has shown sincere support and generous dedication to the WNPL family through staff appreciation events. And whereas Nancy Sheldon is first and foremost not a trustee, but a library patron who loves libraries in general and WNPL in particular. And whereas Nancy Sheldon will always be welcomed back as a friend of the Warren Newport Public Library. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Library Trustees of the Warren Newport Public Library District that Nancy Sheldon is hereby commended for her dedication, loyalty, and commitment to the residents of this district and the citizenry of Warren and Newport Townships.
I would like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move to accept the resolution honoring Nancy Sheldon as written and read.
I second.
Cat.
It's a different voice.
Kidman,
Aye.
Katsini,
Aye.
Lindsay, Parkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Caldwell, Bentley.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, recess.
So there's snacks and, oh, right, I forgot, yeah, I should have said.
Thanks for amazing. Thanks. Oh, well, you went. For both of you guys. Service
It barely sat down.
all curves.
I got all of it. Yeah, okay, so all I have is a blue pen.
Just you can add my personal balance now.
Certified
Okay,
reserve
then,
say so.
we'll make that part of it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
You don't have to reprint this time, just.
Okay.
Let me invite you all to the tree ceremony.
Wow, it's a lot of years of service.
Yeah,
Oh, everyone else saw it.
I'll see what's available. I'm diabetic, I can't answer that.
Oh, well.
I can look.
Free, so I think it's, you might have some up there.
Yeah, let's see what it is.
Did you get the email I sent to you today?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, because I just couldn't get to the phone over the cacophony of putting in the, yeah. So I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Yeah, and I got your message also, I was at school.
No problem.
Okay. I know she was supposed to.
Yes.
No, I was just looking at. And then you was correct? I'm not doing my Gmail. Oh, okay.
How are you?
Not bad, I had to drive to India.
Cindy? Yeah? For work?
I have meetings tomorrow morning.
The office is there, is it client?
Yeah, well, again, like every time the election's done.
This meeting you want to take, so I want to get, I mean, there'll be no traffic, right, theoretically?
It's hard not to cry when you hear all this stuff.
Wow.
I remember being so tearful.
It's not.
Like he wrote a lot of it, I'm sure, it was beautifully written.
Thank you.
I was wondering why you were laughing, that was so funny. That was good.
She's from Massachusetts. That's gonna be
I apologize. All right, yeah, that's
Oh, I know, I did one of works to bubble. I can smell it.
Yes, so far. Yes.
I wanted to come witness. Oh, no. Probably so much about board. Thank you very much. Use your hands. Oh, that's such a nice picture. Look at this. You don't know the song.
You're next.
I just heard it, that's why I know.
Well, that's
Thank you.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's him.
Oh, yeah. Ray had to buy him for me.
Yes, she has emailed holiday candidates. She's supposed to get together, she's not heard from
Oh, yeah, it's
in a couple of weeks we'll get together. One usually, tomorrow. But they come back at 12 minutes to 12.
Okay.
They'll be here in an hour. I reached out to them.
Okay, all right. Yes, and I get to be model or the sedan? Yeah. Oh, nice. How's it going, George?
Not bad, how are you today?
It's good.
How was your meeting today? Started yesterday. It was fun. She's really nice.
That's not Logan. Logan is still.
I think you have to come to it anyway. It's the final stage.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you
That's her,
Because I remember he played volleyball at Merchant, so I yeah, and it just seemed like that was a minute ago.
Oh, well, and then she was just saying that they were doing a project and they should try to get the kids that you needed to check out. And so it was
reminds me of a high school where I.
Oh, that makes it, the process is great.
Per person, one card. So they need to have a grade level card because there's so many kids. So I'm gonna try to write it out, but she was having great.
I think so too.
No, they were just participations. The next thing I wanted her to understand
Yeah,
is the teachers and stuff like that, and she was felt that. Right. I so I didn't know, but I think it may be intentional.
It starts, it really starts.
Well, second, it's fall. Third.
Oh, nice.
She said it needed by the age.
No, I talked to your daughter about it.
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah, both the boys learned this amazing language.
Yeah, and that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do.
I think it's interesting how smart they were things, because they were very smart.
They chose, they went online, they learned how to look at the catalog, I think they did use online too.
And it's delicious.
It's always.
Feel free to bring snacks back anytime.
Databases that you know are good because we have them.
Feel free to come back and join us
So,
anytime.
when I realized I
Don't feel like you have to sit at the big table over and
show you,
try.
but
Always lots of stuff.
that's all.
It is the comfy seats.
Well, I think, because I said, you know, we're also, they're starting to think about kids. We started, it's exciting. The kids are all signing up for school, on the register, they sign up for a club. We merged, because they've already done the check. So it's a beautiful process, how it's working. So if the kids end up already having one, we're sending them money. And we're gonna do it on a monthly basis. And we send them a card with information about the library. So that's their try to do that. Oh, yeah, sure, but they actually walked over. She said, let's walk over.
Well, take your Bible.
I know. So that was good. Thank you.
Was that the dark years? The dark years.
They're like, I think I made a mistake. That shows
Now,
It's like my mom felt like that. Okay. So that's 6 years ago. Vacation, so I applied.
Oh, okay.
It's like, you're gonna take this really interesting process.
Because there were so many people
Yeah, and I
that.
found out
Well,
we
no,
can,
no.
was Ron Fried?
you can show the personal information and there is FOIA we can
Was Ron
review.
Fried? Oh, my God.
There's various packets to fill. Later.
Hair stand up on the back.
We all.
I gagged.
One was, we're having a round robin. That one, to add questions. And then his question was, yes, tell me if I get it wrong.
I remember.
What is the meaning of respect? And is it ever okay to get
What?
board?
Yes, that was.
And I was like, what? Something's wrong with this guy. Because never once in my life have I ever had that.
Just hoping it keeps.
Never did something with a child.
My mother?
Yeah. Yes.
I never had a child.
That was
And I sure hope that's what you.
I do.
Would you want to do that to a child?
And the other one. I don't know.
You know who he is?
No, he's in the woodland side.
He's funny, my son goes.
There's some newer event.
How does that kid stand Ron Friedman? Is that what he said? I don't think Friedman will ever be a child. Or grab
Definitely not.
He won't do it.
He wasn't, that wasn't his agenda. Yeah.
He was chief.
Yes.
He complained. Joe was all of
Truly does have a cap and you are not allowed to go over it no matter what.
8 cents a page, or he could email me. That's how he was. He was always like, desperate.
Either, but I just,
We changed a lot of rules.
Please show you back in a second.
because of that.
Of all kinds of rules.
They're relevant to the board.
All right.
All right.
Oh, his will be good.
I'm looking forward to it. After the break.
Okay, so they have their resolutions.
All right, do you have it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll see if I share teacher bag. Well,
Yeah, they're just.
I changed my person.
It's not in there.
And Lonnie cannot.
I'm sorry.
You can, even though you're an officer, you cannot send chase. Because you're not.
I cannot.
Not yet.
I don't
Somebody
get
signs up. Right.
Oh, well,
It's supposed to
Tell me about
There's
it.
something to check.
All right.
I just want to make sure that
No, I'm
someone
not
didn't get their,
going
okay, great.
Is everybody ready to get going again?
Sir,
Okay.
Thank you. I'll give it back.
We're just gonna get going. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're reconvening at 7:37. Yeah. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're all here.
This whole table.
Okay, so chairpersons. So I've been thinking about the idea that we have trustee development as one of our goals this year. And so with that in mind, I would like to make sure that everybody has a job. And I think it's, first of all, fairest if we try to share the work. And also, we have some people here who can mentor people who've done jobs before, and I think that we should take advantage of that. So, just for new people, the bylaws require the president to be chair of personnel, and they require the treasurer to be chair of finance. Thank you. So we have 2 other chairs left, duties for committee work, and I think that Tom is still our best fit for B&G, if you're willing to do that. Thank you. And with the mentoring in mind, I'm going to ask Kathleen if you would please step up and be the chair of policy.
Sure.
And that George and I have both done that, and so
Okay.
we can be available to you for mentoring.
I'm going to just say about patience.
Oh, no, that we don't, because we have committee of the whole.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Okay, so George already has an ongoing goal, which is that he's pretty much totally responsible for doing the board knowledge on the extranet, which is a pretty big job. So can I ask you, George, if doing that and mentoring Kathleen is more jobs than you want? Or
Should be fine.
it's an okay, fine. And then if George sometimes travels for work, I can be the backup mentor. but
Okay.
You and George are doing both.
Okay.
And then Anne, I know you know this is coming, but I need a person, here's another bit of information. So all policies, board policies and personnel policies, before they come to committee of the whole, are edited by 2 trustees and often by staff as well. So we need 2 people to edit board policies, and we need a couple people to edit personnel policies. And I'm hoping that you will help me do that, because I have no qualifications for
Sure.
doing that, and I would really appreciate your expertise on that.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll talk later about how we'll get that
Okay.
going. Okay, is that all the jobs? Okay, I think it is. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Okay,
Continuation of the class basis, which is very good.
okay. Everyone has seen it, or,
Everyone,
Okay.
count one. Others,
okay,
And might I add something about this?
please.
So this, this list is really for administration only. So if someone does FOIA this, we can, what's the term, redact anything that's personal. So like a personal cell phone or personal email address that you wouldn't want shared if someone FOIA'd this, that's fine. So if you're shy about not sharing your personal email or cell phone, I promise it's pretty rare we would want to contact you at those contact points, but I would encourage you to share it just so we have it if you're comfortable with that.
Okay, so next is President's Report, it's on page 31. And I'll just, I'm gonna mention just a few things about some of these agenda items. I'm sure you figured most of them out. President's Report, when I came on the board, was an oral report, and then somewhere along the way, in the interest of saving time, it became a written report. And so I just keep track of my stuff, what I do on behalf of the board and the library during the month, and it's in the packet, and usually I just ask if there's questions or comments, and are there? There usually aren't, okay. Okay, reports of other trustees then is everyone else's opportunity to add, say verbally, things that you have done or learned or throughout the month on behalf of the library or the board. And so does anyone have anything for that? Not tonight? Okay, that's a good time saver for tonight. Okay, and then every month, of course, you've seen in the packet that Ryan has his executive director's report in the packet, and he always encourages us, if we have questions in advance, to contact him by phone or by email and get your questions answered. And then if he thinks it's something that everybody would need to know, oh, I should have included that, or I would like to clarify that with the board, then he will do that verbally. So, take it away.
Yeah, and please don't hesitate to contact me at any time. If you get the packet, there's something that's confusing, I don't care how trivial a question it might be, please let me know. It does save time during the meetings. I'm also, obviously you can ask me anything during the meeting as well, but, no, I think, I don't have a final number yet for bingo in the books. I know we're all anxious to know. Laura Stone has been very busy preparing for the volunteer luncheon that's happened to fall on the calendar right after bingo. So hopefully we'll have that number very soon. And hopefully many of you will be at the event tomorrow. We've got it posted as a board gathering, so it should be a fun event if you can attend. But that's the big thing I wanted to mention. Just thanks for your support of Bingo in the Books. Many of you were there, and it was really a great event, and it keeps getting bigger and better.
Good. That was super fun.
We're getting geared up for summer reading. That's coming up, and we're excited about that. So.
Any other questions, comments on this? Okay. Committee reports are next, and they are pages 45 through 48. And these are self-explanatory. You've seen these in your packets all along. Somebody was absent this time, I forget. I thought I did one.
It was me.
Oh, yeah. So I did that one for Andrea.
Better than I do.
Questions? And by the way, I'll just say, Kathleen, you can do it either way. You can write it up afterwards, or you can write it by hand. You know, it's efficient if you want to write it by hand, but I always found I couldn't think like that. So whichever method you prefer, I have forms, and I usually bring them to committee of the whole. So if you want.
Can I have a learning curve instead of figuring out what I want to do?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
You certainly can. Okay, any other questions about committee reports? Okay. Ryan and I put item 20, payroll and bills payable. Those are usually in the consent agenda, but since it was a board turnover, we put it under new business this time. So I need a motion for that.
I make a motion that the bills payable for May 2017 and the payroll for April 2017 be approved for
I'll second.
Discussion? Guess we should have a roll call for that.
Lisa?
Aye.
Katsinas?
Aye.
Sutton?
Aye.
Parkabisi? Aye. Getman?
Aye.
Colwell? Beckwith?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, use of committee of the whole, a cover memo is on page 49. I have to credit Ryan, I totally forgot that this was a 2-year deal. I could have just gone on doing it, so. Why don't we have a motion and then we can have a discussion, how about that?
I'll move that we continue the use of committee of the whole indefinitely.
I'll second that. Discussion.
I've done it both ways. Well, I've observed it one way and I've done it the other way.
Yes.
And while you have a false sense of craziness when you don't have to go to the first meeting, it is so much better to hear everything all at once. And then, and I'm not talking about just making the meeting shorter, it isn't about that. But
Yeah.
everybody's informed and hearing the same thing, same time, same way.
Mhm.
So I prefer this myself.
I think it's worked out really pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it's a wise use of time for everybody, especially Ryan, so he's not here 3 extra 4 extra minutes a month. So,
And not just maybe hours.
too, so, I think it's worked out really well.
I have to say, Sue had suggested a few months ago that we maybe shift an item or two from committee of the whole to the regular agenda to make things to come out more evenly timed. What is your thought on that? We said we would try it and we didn't do a very good job of it. So,
Basically, it just shifted. I mean, it was
Yeah.
where the regular meeting was the time consuming meeting.
yeah,
The committee of the whole was really short.
the committee meetings.
Yeah, and committee meetings, and now it's shifted where the committee meeting is the longer
Right.
too, so I'm in favor of keeping it all around.
I would actually say that it hasn't so much shifted. The total amount of time spent has gone down.
Yeah,
Because if you add up each of the various meetings, we had an hour policy, an hour building and ground, an hour finance. We are not here for 3 hours. It's closer to 2 hours.
right.
I think overall it's been a time-saving effort. As long as we continue to have the skill sets on the board where we don't need to bring in citizen members to assist us, let's keep going with what we got.
Okay, yes.
I have to say, it did work out better than I had anticipated. I do think there's still room for improvement in that area. What I don't like about it is by the time we get to the board meeting, it's pretty much a complete. That if a citizen thinks that the decision-making's really happening at the board, it's already really happened at the committee of the whole. But if a citizen comes and speaks up against whatever issue they might have at a board meeting, I would like it to go back to committee of the whole to discuss whatever it is that they have so they feel adequately represented rather than, okay, now we're gonna vote on it and we really haven't had time to ruminate on their position.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good practice.
Actually, I have an alternative suggestion.
What is it?
And this is, the issue is that we still want input from the public. And I'd like more active input from the public than we're getting right now. I mean, yes, it's great, everybody trusts us to do a good job, but I still want to hear from people. And I actually encourage that the public come and talk to us if they have something of concern. But our current format makes that difficult for one thing in specific. Most of our work ends up on the consent agenda, which is a time saver for all of us. But the problem is, the first public comment session is after consent. If we flip the order of those, so that we hear from the public before our consent agenda, if somebody comes up with an objection to something on the consent agenda, we as a board have the option to pull it from consent, bring it onto the main agenda at that
I
point.
love that
and
idea.
discuss it.
I agree, because that helps address my concern if we've already voted on it.
Yeah.
And then to have to redo it again if there is something.
Because we're not doing it to avoid input from the public.
Everyone like that idea?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I
let's
think
do
it
that.
makes sense.
Okay.
That will require a change to policy.
101, which I just put on for June.
Panic looked done.
I'll
It'll be.
add that to my edits.
Well, I think that's one thing.
Of
No, I like that
course.
idea. That's also there are some local boards which will remain unnamed, that have come under criticism because they put it at a point in the meeting where a citizen would have to sit through an entire board meeting. So this also has the advantage of not only before the board makes decisions, but it's also considered to the public. So someone can come to a meeting, have their say, they can go home, so.
Right. Okay, so are we ready to vote? Okay, so the motion is that we continue committee of the whole indefinitely. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Are you gonna talk about the board roster?
Oh, yes, the one thing that I wanted to mention that this, so this board roster, it needs to be filed with the, basically the, I guess it's the Library of Illinois Secretary of State's office, the Illinois State Library, and also the Lake County Clerk's office. And it's different than this roster that I passed around. So we'll pass this around so everyone can take a look. It does not have your, this is the information that's required, your name and your address. It does not have your phone number, email address, that type of thing. So it's, don't confuse the two is my point. This is for internal use only. This is what we file with the state and with the county.
And you want us to just redo it, or?
Yeah, just to make sure
Check
that we
your
have the
information.
information correctly.
Can you post it on the website somewhere?
Yeah, we do post on the website, it's our practice, the, I think it's our library email addresses, right? I don't think it has addresses, we can double check.
It doesn't have the home address, but I have phone number.
I'll pull it up.
I'm sorry, we're working on
Sorry, I'll take a look.
Joe, do you put West Crab, I think?
No, I was
did.
looking at that as it went by.
Yeah. You did?
I'm getting more in the habit of doing it, but I haven't done it. Yeah, I'll just- I'm gonna just leave it.
Okay, I just need to look at yours.
The thing is, if people, if you put it in Google,
Oh, right.
it comes, it gives
Comes
you a
with
correction, but nobody from this is gonna.
Yeah, so
That's right.
right now, what it does have on the website, it is the, your library board email addresses, and then it has phone numbers, on it, home phone numbers, whatever numbers you've provided, and that's something we can talk about. And I think the idea there is to, as George was talking about, be accessible to the public, so if people do have concerns, they can call you directly. But
I don't mind
it's not,
having my house phone, but I don't know.
You know, I'm looking at this and I like, it's got a nice mix of areas in our one Newport district. We're not all, with the exception of two people grouped together.
House of Cards.
Okay, so we need a motion for this.
I'll move that the board ratify the current board roster for filing.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Can I move it that later? I'll check it when I'm done. Okay, you want to tell us about the staff development?
yeah, so this is something that the previous board kind of pre-endorsed us to do. The Black Belt librarian, Warren Graham, Warren's coming to the Warren Newport Public Library. September 15th, and historically, what we've done, the Friday in September, we close the library for the staff, all the staff can participate in Staff Development Day. And this gentleman's excellent. I went to this event soon after I came to Illinois that they used to have for all new library directors in Illinois. Basically, it was a SPILMI, State Public Library Management Institute, I believe. It used to be small, but they turned to state. And Warren Graham was there, and he's really amazing. He was a security manager for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County Library Systems, and you might think that well, why does the whole staff need to know about security? Because he talks about dealing with difficult patrons, and one of the things that we're seeing more and more are challenging patrons, patrons that might have mental illnesses, or they have difficult social situations, and I think he's going to be a huge benefit for not just our security staff, but for our entire staff to deal with these situations. So there's a book he's published. You can take a look. I think we have some testimonials that we have. So and people say, I mean, I've seen him and he's outstanding. He really is. So we're excited that we're here. So this is to ask the board for us to formally close the library for this staff development day.
And what day is it, Ryan?
September
It's
15th.
proposed Friday, September 15th.
Okay.
What would it cost to get it?
What was the cost? I'll
I think it was, I can go run and find out, it was like, what was it, like 1,400 something?
yeah, $1,400 or $1,500 plus travel. But he's pretty reasonable with his travel expenses. So he's not asking for a window up here or anything.
And we
like that.
didn't
So,
have one this year, so.
yeah.
Is it budgeted?
It is in the working budget we have right now, which has not been approved by the board. But yes, it's
So, no, it's not budgeted.
I hope to have it be budgeted.
It's not a budget to approve it, so. no.
That's right, so it's not budgeted, yes.
Okay, so would someone like to make a motion?
It would if I knew, whoever's got the paper.
His name is Warren
Is it?
Graham, the black belt.
I move to engage Warren Graham as the guest speaker for Staff Training Day on September 15th, at which time the library will be closed due to training for the period of, is it all day or is it just?
All day.
All day.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay. Signature.
So the way this works, the Fifth Third Bank would have been able to provide us with the signature cards for officers, but they did not have a crystal ball and know exactly who the officers would be. So I will have the paperwork to distribute. So although we have three returning officers, you will still have to sign these signature cards again in addition to Bonnie. And Bonnie will have to make a special trip to Fifth Third Bank to get signed on. So that's basically where we stand with that. So we'll get that documentation. You want to, other than Bonnie, you want to go to the bank, but we'll have to get those documents signed. Okay.
And do I need to bring anything with me on that?
Yeah, I will get the information exactly what they need.
Okay, thanks.
So we'll just have those at committee of the whole, don't you think? It's not urgent, is it?
No, I don't think it's urgent, no.
At committee of the
Yeah,
whole?
no special trips that we're requiring, whatever. Any questions about that, about those signature cards? Also, I'm gonna add to this, I had on the cart for new trustees, we'll want you to fill out a little profile to put your password in for your library email addresses. So before you leave tonight, I'll make sure you fill out this form. And there are some instructions on how to log in, so you'll have it. So you'll use.
Here they are.
Oh, great, thanks. It's kind of unrelated, but yeah, for the, yeah.
So next is semi-annual review of closed session minutes. So that Bonnie is you and Tom, right?
Yes.
So twice a year, the closed session minutes and the recordings in the board cabinet are reviewed by the two of you. And you will make a recommendation to the board over any closed session minutes that you feel can be open to the public. And then any recordings older than 18 months are discarded. That's statutory.
Okay.
So, and then we have on the agenda for approval, you'll fill out a form, and then it'll be part of the packet in July. So I'm just giving you a heads up that just, start thinking about.
Okay.
So, anyway, that's just
Due in July.
information, yeah. Okay, I always ask if you anybody has agenda items, you can give me items for the June regular meeting, or you can give me items for June committee of the whole.
I have an item for you.
Okay.
We said at a later date, we would look at how many people were viewing the video recordings of the board meetings
Okay.
and consider it for either continuation or discontinuation. Can we get that, the committee of the whole? And would that, if it's on this next committee of the whole, would that allow you the time to gather statistics from the website? Brian?
Yeah, I think because we're on YouTube right there.
Yeah, it's really
it's really easy, yeah, now
Okay.
compared to the old setup, yeah.
Okay.
Sure, we can do that.
Anything else?
I assume we want costs associated with putting them on there as well.
Well, we've kind of gone through that in the past.
That was before we put them on YouTube, that's, just want to make sure that stays the
Well,
same.
to me, the biggest cost is the staff time.
Correct.
And if it's 1 hour staff time, that's an hour you could be spending doing something else.
Okay, any other agenda items for either? Okay, wow. Anyone want to speak in public forum? No? Okay. Okay, so announcements are just these events?
So Joe, okay, never mind.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. That are listed here. Anyone else? I'm thinking of going to ALA for a day. I don't know. Anyway, if anyone wants to go, I'm gonna go that Saturday, I think.
When is it?
American Library
No,
Association.
when?
It's June
My second.
22nd through the 27th, and I think the Saturday is the 24th. I don't know.
Yeah, 24th, you're right,
I'll
Anyway.
check my calendar.
Okay.
I want to.
All right. Anyone else have announcements? Anyone like to move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Twice.
Okay, good. 8:02, yes. Thank you, everyone.
Well done.
That was super good.
That's
Bye-bye.